Murphy Austin Adams Schoenfeld LLP, focusing on business law and commercial litigation, is proud to support Rob on the Road, Regin Rising. More information available at murphyaustin.com.
On Rob on the Road, Regin Rising, getting us on track to a brighter future. Join me as we explore Siemens mobility in Sacramento, bringing billions of dollars to the region, making and selling new high-speed and light rail trains. Plus, an exciting new step in the effort by St. John's program for real change to help mothers recovering from homelessness. Go inside St. John's Square, where new homes are offering a haven of hope and a fresh start for mothers recovering from homelessness. And a conversation with the new leader of the UC Davis Mind Institute, one of America's leading institutions for autism and neurodevelopmental conditions. Rob on the Road starts now.
And now, Rob on the Road, exploring Northern California.
Did you know that one of the world's largest train manufacturers is right here in the Sacramento region, rolling out trains destined for cities across the U.S. Siemens Mobility makes 2/3 of the nation's light rail cars, including some for our Sacramento region. Siemens' biggest customer is Amtrak, and here production is full steam ahead for more than a $3 billion order of new train sets.
We are here with Michael Cahill, who is the president of rolling stock at Siemens. Hello.
Rob, how are you?
Doing great. Good to see you.
Welcome to our domain here in Sacramento, where we build trains.
60 acres, this campus alone.
That's right.
And you, nuts and bolts, start to finish, do it all.
We do it all. For Siemens, this is our only facility in North America. Right. It's one of 5 rolling stock plants that we have worldwide, and it is actually the largest. Here in this plant, we build urban vehicles, like light rail vehicles, such as here for the city of Sacramento. The vehicles we're building right now, vehicles for Sacramento RT. We also build passenger cars that we're shipping to Amtrak, we're shipping to Caltrans, to Illinois Department of Transportation and many other customers. And we build complete train sets, including the locomotives. If you add them all together, and if you just have to put a number on, our capacity here is about 250 cars a year. Wow. So that comes close to about one every business day.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is.
Tell me your 411 of what all you do here.
So we start with sheet metal and we produce trains that you see here. We make the car shells, we create all of the boxes that go underneath it, we wire them up.
These, you said, you start with sheet metal, but it takes a lot of hands. You employ a lot of people.
We do. We have a great team of 2,500 people that work here, and we do as much as we can here. We do the design work. So the designs that you see here is done by an engineering group that we have here on site, and then we have skilled craft labor that we use to put these together. When we started here in 1992, we had about 100 employees, and today we number 2,500.
I want to show you how these are made underneath and how people can get under here and work, because you're doing all of the pieces and the moving parts. Walk over here and just kind of tell me what you see and what all this means.
All right, so let me explain to you what this is. Right now we're looking at the final assembly station for a car that will make up a train set. What you see here underneath, and this is an area that most passengers would never see. So what you see right now is the underframe, and in the underframe, a lot of the wiring, the piping that's necessary for these cars, and you'll see electrical wiring that passes signals and power into the cars, but also you'll see things like water pipes, because there are bathrooms on board this train. It all has to go on from the bottom underneath. It's protected against all of the elements. To make this work and make this comfortable, we have a lot of engineering that goes into all of this. What you see here sitting on these blue frames gets replaced by what's called a bogie. And the bogie is what the train runs on. And between the bogie and the car shell, there are airbags that create the suspension. And just to give you a feeling for this, on any one car, not train, but in any one car, you have upwards of 12,000 parts. Keeping track of 12,000 parts and getting them all in the right place at the right time to be able to build these is an enormous effort. 5,000 connection points, electrical connection points. So we digitize the testing of all of that.
How many cars could there be on a train?
So a train can be short or can be long, depending on the usage case from our customers. So for example, the trains that we're building here for Via Rail have 5 cars and 1 locomotive. Amtrak, who's also a very important and very big customer of ours, can run trains up to 20 or 30 cars.
Your tremendous focus on sustainability.
Correct.
And a carbon neutral footprint by 2030.
That's correct.
That is right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. We announced that in 2015, and of course in 2015 it was far away, but as we get closer to it, this is a global commitment of Siemens worldwide, and happy to announce that about halfway through, we're more than halfway through our decarbonization. If you take a look at this, and any one of these cars can carry 100 passengers, that's 100 fewer cars that are emitting. Ideally, these are also run using electrical power, but that's not where it's going to stop. Ultimately, in the longer term, even the diesel will be replaced. So the efforts that we have, that we're putting our efforts and our thoughts into from an engineering perspective, is using battery power. So I guess the code has been cracked for automobiles. With trains, it's a little more difficult. We have very big, heavy machinery and putting batteries on that, but we're already under contract with Amtrak to deliver train sets, in fact, that will be powered by battery.
Wow.
I've been in this business a long time. This is my 34th year with Siemens, and I've been in rolling stock for the majority of that time. It is a passion of mine. It's something that I hold my head high. When people ask me what I do, I tell them very clearly and very simply, I make trains. There's something very cool about that, and it's good for the environment, it's good for society, and we have a lot of fun doing it. It's a great feeling, because as a passenger or a user, you never really fully appreciate the amount of work that goes into this. Just to put it in perspective, almost 10,000 man-hours of work goes into each car.
Wow.
So you're looking at, if we're delivering a train set with 5 cars and a locomotive, that's the best part of 30 man-years of work just here in this facility that goes into it. We're proud of what we do here, and a lot of people, when they come here for the first time, the immediate reaction is, we do that here. It's a best kept secret of Sacramento.
I was going to say that exact sentence. This really is the best kept secret in Sacramento, and you're inside of it right now, thanks to Siemens.
There's a new neighborhood in town. Its foundation was laid with a simple act of kindness 40 years ago, when St. John's Church began feeding hungry people sleeping on the sanctuary's Sacramento steps. Today, St. John's Program for Real Change is the largest residential program for formerly homeless women and children in the Sacramento region. St. John's Program for Real Change CEO Julie Hirota walks us through St. John's Square, where mothers and their children are realizing the precious dream of having their own home.
Thank you so much.
St. John's Square. Wow. It's been a long road for the people who live there, mothers, families, and the journey to get there is something that, unless you have experienced it, then you just must share it. So tell us about the people who make it to St. John's Square.
Yeah. So St. John's is about a community, right? And the community kind of travels together as a woman enters into St. John's Square. And so she started that journey somewhere along the way in the program. And
they don't have to have children either.
Nope, they don't have to have children.
It's women who are experiencing incredibly tough times in their life.
Right, right. They've been through so much. And we've seen them come in at some of the hardest times in their lives, and then we see them rise above, and the strength that they show to themselves, to each other, if they have kids, to the kids, to the staff. They're so inspiring. They go through the program, and the program's tough, right? It's a long program. Sometimes it's the first time they've ever been in a house or a home in their entire life.
Wow.
It's incredible. I'm getting goosebumps.
I
just
mean,
by
me
talking
too.
about it.
That's amazing. First time in their life.
Yeah. And once they're in the home, I mean, we just start seeing, they start building different types of skills because now it's true independence. And
That's important to touch on. It is true independence.
True independence.
It is not we're going to keep you here and watch over you. It's home. It's a house. It's a place to live.
Right.
And that brings a whole other set of challenges. But they've been prepared because of this program.
The work that they do and the transformation that they make based on you touched on generational experiences, right? They come here and then they create their future generational experiences. This might be the first time they're eating together as a family, and that's a tradition that they're creating for the future generations, and we've provided the table to do that.
Ow, there you are. Don't fall, don't get hurt. There you go, your turn. Come here, babe. Ah. All right, you're so sweet. I love y'all.
The kids having a community here, that's important too, right?
Oh gosh, absolutely.
And having the other kids as their support system and their friends.
This is St. John's Square. I cannot believe how quickly that belief and action pulled this off.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Look at it. So
It's remarkable.
we want to have barbecues, we want to have picnic tables, we want to have a gathering area. And
These are not small.
no, they're 850 square feet.
It's amazing.
2 bedrooms, a larger bedroom and a smaller bedroom, washer and dryer, full bathroom, kitchen, living room.
How do you get in here?
We want you to be confident to managing your household and your expenses, right?
Ready.
Ready, yes. So that, ready is exactly right. So I want to make sure that you know that you can save your money, that you have a job that you're going to keep coming back to every single day.
Stability.
Stability. We want to make sure that you have supports in place for your kids if you have kids, that you have transportation. So it's the readiness, right? And women who have come out of our residential program are ready.
Right over here.
Right over here, they're ready. And unfortunately, we don't have enough houses. We're still here,
Yeah.
right? And whether that's on our site or it's somewhere else in town, they still have that connection of feeling close to us because they know that we're here, we're available.
And it takes, for any human being, a lot of practice in stability.
Right.
And let's meet Sarah.
Let's meet
Let's go
Sarah.
meet Sarah.
How's it going?
All right, let's go. After you.
I knew that I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I let them adopt my kids out. And that was my scariest moment, was when I was talking to myself, trying to replay or trying to rehearse what I would tell them when I was older. When they were older, I was rehearsing how I was going to tell them why I didn't come for them. And that's the point when I was like, okay, Sarah, you're just talking crazy.
Tell me about your life before St. John's program for Real Change and before St. John's Square.
I just kind of got on the wrong path in my early 20s and with addiction, and I just tried to not face the truth, but for about 10 years or so it was just in and out. I held jobs and wouldn't help jobs, and moving with family and everything, so I would have my own place and lose it, and just a hot mess.
What would you say to someone who is searching desperately for hope?
My main thing is that you have to want it. You have to want it. You have to be done. And there's nothing that anybody else could do to have you ready. Like, it just doesn't work out. If you do it because people are on your back, if you do it because your kids or anything, I did it because I was ready and I needed to do it. And then I did it because my kids needed a better mother.
Having walked through and seeing what has happened here, I am blown away. Who knew that little piece of land could be such a big dream come true?
You know, it was the vision of our community that said, what are you doing with that land? Can we put some houses on it? And, you know, it was day 2 for me, so it was a parking lot. And I said, oh, it's a parking lot. Let's see what can happen. And so now we're starting to talk about, well, we have a community out here. Well, what does the community activity look like? And how do we implement community activity to bring them together as a community? 'Cause women who live there are coming and going, just like your neighbors are.
Yeah,
right?
I do want to point out that of all the houses that are there, there's one person there today, and guess why? Because the kids are either at school or the mother's at work.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a neighborhood.
It's a neighborhood. It's a neighborhood.
And that goes back to what you said in the beginning when we talked about what do you need. Belief brings resources.
Belief brings resources.
And that was proof.
And trust. No. Trust that we can do it. And we have a track record that demonstrates we can.
A long one.
Yeah, a long one, yeah.
And now a Regin Rising Spotlight. This is the Mind Institute on the Sacramento campus of UC Davis. Created by families, for families. The Mind Institute is known worldwide for research and multiple therapies for people with autism and other neurodevelopmental conditions. After 25 years of serving Sacramento and beyond, the future here at Mind is focused on celebrating diversity and finding jobs for people who are neurodivergent. And it's working.
Welcome to the Mind Institute. I am sitting here with Dr. Marjorie Solomon. Good to see you.
Hey, Rob.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Well,
and the
thank
Mind
you.
Institute is really a treasure in our region and so respected nationally as well. Great to see you.
Great to see you too.
So glad to be here. There's a lot happening as we speak.
Yes.
Right here at the Mind Institute and in homes all across America when it comes to neurodevelopment differences that everyone has and inclusion that the Mind Institute is working so hard for. What is off the start a burning desire in your heart that you want to talk about as far as what's happening with the Mind Institute as its leader?
I've been here for 25 years, so I was a postdoc when I got here, you know, and now to be in this position, it's really been very exciting. But I've seen a lot of growth and change and really exciting things happen. They really wanted, back in those days, to see cure, a term that we no longer use. And I guess it's kind of a nice way to go through our transition here.
Can you explain that to me? Why the word, or lack thereof, cure?
Cure. I think it is now widely recognized and widely known that people with autism have very many interesting strengths, in addition to some challenges or not. And also that they're a very, very broad group of individuals, ranging from people who are minimally verbal, to, you know, and may have serious levels of intellectual disability, all the way on up to very, very brilliant individuals. So it's a very wide group. So to say we want to cure autism, we don't really want to cure autism. We want to help people to live their best lives.
When you started out working with the social skills group, that development piece that you work so hard on is now a mainstay here at the Mind Institute. That is the program.
That is true. I'm really fortunate to have seen that. I've had some students that have actually done research on the model. The model was published back in 2004, so it became what we call an empirically supported model, which means that it can be used by others in other contexts. We created a curriculum for For adults transitioning, it's a stress and coping intervention that while it's not really directly focused at getting them jobs, it's to help them to really grow and transition and to acquire some of the kinds of confidence, and in living, and to not having a lot of mental health challenges because they're so stressed out, that they can have jobs one day and live big lives.
Big deal. Just as many different people there are so many topics we could talk about today. But I do want to delve into the job situation that you're talking about and the employment, because that I know is something that families fear and that people fear already. Will I be able to get a job? Will I be able to thrive? What have you seen that gives you hope?
So we were really fortunate. The Department of Developmental Services of the state of California funded us to test a model that we know is empirically validated for other conditions in adulthood. And it's a supported employment model. And in the model, you have a sort of a employment specialist, we call them, who develops a job for you and then coaches you and stays on the job with you. They help you to find the job. They get to know maybe the boss if it feels okay for you to have that happen. And then they watch you and follow you so that when problems come up, they can really help you to navigate those, because very often problems aren't insurmountable, and with a little bit of help you can get by and continue to succeed at your job. So I would say watching some individuals get into supported employment and having successful stories really motivates me. And I think especially the regional center, which is one of the agencies in California that has taken charge of helping people with autism and other forms of developmental disabilities, has been extremely helpful and flexible in trying to help us to fund this particular model that's been so successful in other areas.
That's great. So what would you say then to employers or businesses or companies who are watching?
Oh, well, that's another very cool thing. If you watch the news and you watch just listen to the popular press, you're seeing that a lot of businesses and companies, perhaps because we've all become very much more interested in diversity. Well, disability is another form of diversity. Neurodiversity is another form of diversity. And they become really excited and interested in trying to learn what people do. And people with autism have some amazing strengths.
And I also have to say that when you have the privilege of working with someone who has different abilities and special traits,
yes,
that you become a better person as well. I know I have that some of my greatest lessons have come from people with different abilities that upon diagnosis as a child may feel devastating, but a diagnosis is not that child's destiny. It is to unlock tools that are available for families to help their child thrive.
Exactly. And back to your original point about things that have given me hope. The very fun thing that's given me hope is now I've had the opportunity to work with kids, from the time they were 5 up till now, and most of them are doing super well. They've figured out their place in the world in one way or another. And so I really do feel like when I tell people, if their child's just received a diagnosis, I always am very quick to run in and say, don't think this is a bad thing necessarily. We're going to work with this and figure things out. And I have worked with so many people who've had wonderful lives. They've just adapted in whatever way was the right way for them to adapt.
Any issue that someone's family with autism or the neurodevelopmental areas may be facing, is there something that's burning in your heart? What must be shared?
Well, I think it gets back a little bit to what you were saying at the beginning, about the purpose of your show. I mean, your show's about lifting up what's around us in Sacramento, and it always boggles my mind that we've been around for 25 years, but I still run into plenty of people who don't know what we are. And I just want to say that by many metrics, we are the premier institute on autism and other neurodevelopmental conditions in the country and the world, and in little old Sacramento. So that is a super exciting thing. You know, I think we're one of the research gems in the crown of UC Davis. And I think a lot of people don't know that, you know, so, you know, we're here. I'd like people to know that. You know, and I'd like people to know another topic that we talked about, which is if your child or family member gets a diagnosis, take a deep breath, get to work, but the future can be very bright.
Dr. Marjorie Solomon, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here with you today.
Well, thanks so much for taking time and putting us on your program of things that uplift the region.
Glad to do so here at the Mind Institute in Sacramento.
Thank you for watching Rob on the Road. Check out all of our episodes at robontheroad.org or on the free PBS app. We will see you next time on Rob on the Road.
Murphy Austin Adams Schoenfeld LLP, focusing on business law and commercial litigation, is proud to support Rob on the Road, Region Rising. More information available at murphyaustin.com.